In this exercise, we focus on curves. You may call them dog's legs, bent lines, curves. I'm not sure if there are any other words for them, but today that is our focus. We'll be doing the more common curve that you see at most shows, the half moon shaped curve, and we'll be paying special attention to the right angled related distance on a curve. The warm-up routine over cavalettis will cover the right angled related distance on a curve, just to prepare you for the jumping part of this exercise. So I'm really enjoying these 6 jump setups. They go nice and quickly. This one is packed full of related distances, so you need to focus on getting those right and you'll be good to go. So you start off by setting up this vertical. Try get it as close to the center of your arena as possible. Then come the 2 right angled related distances. So we'll start with the one going to the left. Whenever you build a related distance on a curve, always try visualize the line you want to ride and make sure it's a line you can easily ride. Don't build a line like this or this. Always make sure you build so that you can get a nice smooth ride through the related distance. So the related distance rides through to the oxer on 6 strides. And it walks the standard 28 paces for the 6 strides. And then you mirror what you built on the left on the right. So it's 6 strides going to the left and right from the vertical to the 2 oxers. Next, you build this related distance, oxer to oxer on 5 strides. It's a standard 5 strides, so it walks 24 paces on the curve for the 5 strides. And then finally, you build this half moon related distance at the bottom of your arena. You want to have these 3 jumps in a Mercedes shape, like the Mercedes emblem. So the line rides down on 6 strides and it walks the standard 28 paces for those 6 strides. And then finally, these 2 cavalettis on a related distance of 6 strides. Because they're cavalettis, the distance walks 26 paces. And that's it. You're all set up and ready to go. Don't forget, there's a link to a JPEG of the course plan in the description below, so you can easily build off your phone. So the warm-up routine for this exercise is really just practice for these 2 lines you'll be doing later in the exercise. These related distances are often considered the hardest to ride, so it's good to practice riding the correct line over cavalettis first. Remember, because the angle is so acute, any deviation from the line will make a big difference to how the related distance rides. So you really want to focus on staying on the line that you walked and keep a close eye on the second cavaletti to see if you need to lengthen or shorten your horse's stride to find a good takeoff spot. It's not the worst idea to do this drill the day before you jump and obviously on the day you jump as well. The more you practice this, the easier it'll be to do the related distances over jumps. Okay, so let's move on to the jumping. So we're focusing on these 2 lines. So start off really small until you get the feel of how they ride. You need to be really sharp about getting onto the correct line. It's easy to overshoot the turn and go too wide, which will make the line ride too long. Having said that, it's also quite easy to overdo it and go too direct, which will make the line ride too short. So because the curve is so acute, small variations from the correct line can make quite a big difference to how well the line rides. So really practice this nice and small until you're doing it comfortably before you go up in height. Once you go up in height, the exact same principles apply, except that it will ride a little shorter because the jumps are bigger. I would set aside a session or two for this part of the exercise before you jump the course. It's an excellent skill to develop, so devote some time to it so you can get it working really well. And now it's time to ride the whole track. It's a good idea to watch the pressure points chapter after this to see what areas of the track you may find a little tricky and how best to ride them. So other than the two right angle curves which we covered in depth earlier in the video, and that you should have practiced quite a bit already, there aren't too many pressure points in this track. This turn, however, is a little bit tricky though. It caught me napping and I missed the turn and went a little bit wide, which put me on a more direct line for the related distance, which made it ride a little short. So make sure you look really early, preferably as you're going over this jump, to make sure you get nice and straight to this vertical. Awesome, you made it to the end. So you're the type of person that will really enjoy this channel. So if you haven't subscribed yet, hit the subscribe button and I'll keep the videos coming.